It's 23:47 at night. The lights of your house went out one by one. The curtains were drawn. The garden gate was locked. After a tiring day, you laid your head on your pillow and fell into a deep sleep within a few minutes. But something happened in your garden. Right at that moment when you closed your eyes, small, careful steps have begun to be taken on your lawn. If he poked your nose, you would wake up, but you didn't realize it at all. It was watching you. It knew every corner of your garden, what's under which stone, which flower pot hides a nest of insects, which fence hides wet soil. And throughout the night, while you slept, an entirely different life unfolded in your garden. This is the story of that life. When hedgehogs wake up at evening twilight, before it is fully dark, most people do not notice this, because this awakening is silent. It is without noise. There is no dramatic emergence. The hedgehog makes its first move in the place where it hides during the day, which may be the bottom of a bush, under a wooden log, sometimes a pile of leaves based directly on the wall of your house. This movement is very small. The nose trembles for a moment, the ears move forward slightly, and the eyes open. But you will already be inside by that time. The hedgehog's eyesight is incredibly poor. I'm not kidding when I say this. It's really very poor. In bright daylight, one can barely make out an object even a meter away. That's why nature has endowed it with a completely different ability: smell. A hedgehog's nose is much stronger than your eyes. While walking over a worm hiding 10 centimeters underground, one can detect it by its scent. The scent of a fruit peel left out in the early morning hours might still be lingering in the air at 9:09 in the evening, and the hedgehog finds it. While you sleep, the hedgehog in your garden maps out routes with its nose. It follows the same route every night. Researchers have determined that hedgehogs walk an average of 2 to 3 kilometers in a single night. It doesn't just wander through your garden, it also wanders into the neighbor's garden, the bushes along the street, and sometimes even the park across the road. And this process is completely systematic. Researchers monitoring hedgehogs with radio tracking devices noticed something surprising. Each hedgehog has its own unique nocturnal route. This route is repeated almost in the same order every night. It's as if they have a GPS in their minds. So how did they learn this route? By memory. Hedgehogs discover these routes, which change from season to season, through trial and error over months. They find out which garden always has worms next to the compost bin, which house fence is rich in insects, which soil under which tree always remains moist. And while you sleep, the hedgehog moves by relying on this memory. Sometimes things change in your garden. Maybe you have put a new flower pot. Maybe you mowed the lawn, and that familiar smell changed. Perhaps you moved your compost bin. The hedgehog stops when it encounters this change that night. Its nose sniffs the air. The surroundings are carefully scanned, and the new data is saved. The next night, the route will already be updated. This rate of adaptation is one of the things that keeps hedgehogs alive. Hedgehogs living in urban gardens learn much faster than their relatives in rural areas because the human world is constantly changing, and they have to keep up with this change. Now we come to the most intriguing part of the story. Hedgehogs are carnivorous, but most people are surprised when they hear exactly what they're hunting for. Worms, insect larvae, barnacles, snails, snail eggs, small insects. Sometimes even the remains of dead animals are on the hedgehog's menu. For many years, they have been known as the gardener's friend, because they eat garden snails. And this is entirely true. A hedgehog can consume hundreds of insects and dozens of snails in a single night. But its hunting method is interesting. The hedgehog doesn't run, it doesn't accelerate. The hedgehog listens. Their ears are invisible, but they are highly functional. The hedgehog can detect the sound made by a worm moving underground, a sound too faint for the human ear to perceive. It hears the sound of an insect's footsteps walking on the ground. It detects the movement of a larva hiding under a leaf, and then it stops. That characteristic posture. The front legs press the ground, the nose approaches the ground, the ears come forward. 1, 2, 3 seconds. And with a sudden movement, the nose dives into the ground. Most of the time, it succeeds on the first try. When it comes to snails, the hedgehog's tactics are different. The snail tries to escape, or thinks it is trying to escape. The hedgehog holds it with the corner of his jaw and heads towards the shell with incredibly fast jaw movements. This process can take minutes, but the hedgehog is patient. While you sleep, these silent hunting scenes in your garden repeat over and over again. A little-known fact: hedgehogs are extremely sensitive to water. During dry periods, especially in midsummer, hedgehogs may encounter serious health problems because they cannot find sufficient water. Kidney problems, dehydration, and weakness, all of these are linked to insufficient water intake. So where does the hedgehog in your garden get its water? In dew, on wet grass, in droplets accumulated on plant leaves, in rainwater left on plant saucers. And if they're lucky, or if they've chosen the right garden, they'll find it in a water container. Hedgehog experts say leaving a shallow water dish in your garden is one of the most valuable aids for hedgehogs. This little animal, which cannot see or recognize you, will find that water bowl somewhere in the night, drink from it, and perhaps permanently add that garden to its route. That water bowl you left out while sleeping could be saving a life. Towards the end of October, something changes. Hedgehogs come out less now. The route is shortened. The amount they eat increases because their body is sending signals. Preparation for the approaching winter has begun. The body temperature of a hedgehog entering hibernation drops from the normal 35 degrees to approximately 10 degrees. The heart rate decreases from 190 to 280 beats per minute to 20 beats per minute. Breathing first becomes rapid, then slows down, sometimes slowing down to the point where one takes a breath every few minutes. This condition resembles death, but it is not death. Hibernation is often thought of by many as a state of constant sleep. However, the reality is much more complex. Hedgehogs wake up from time to time throughout the winter. During these short-lived awakenings, they check their surroundings, change nests if necessary, and sometimes walk a few meters. Then they fall asleep again. The most dangerous aspect of these awakenings is this: each awakening depletes the body's fat reserves. If a hedgehog does not enter winter with sufficient fat reserves, which usually means they did not feed adequately in the autumn, they may not survive the winter. That's why every night spent in your garden is not just another night for the hedgehog. It is a strategic investment that determines whether one will experience the next spring. Between June and August, you may see something unexpected in your garden. Small, even smaller hedgehogs. Hedgehog pups are born without spines, or they have spines, but they are hidden under the skin. They evolved this way to protect the mother during childbirth. Within a few hours, you will see that the soft white spines are replaced by hard, dark-colored spines. Baby hedgehogs move around with their mothers for approximately 6 to 8 weeks. Now imagine this. While you are sleeping, a family of hedgehogs is roaming around your garden. The mother is in front. She knows the route. The cubs are following behind. They're still learning where to stand, how to smell, what sounds to pay attention to, where to find worms when digging quickly. Your garden was a school that night, and without you realizing it, you became that school's campus. The list of natural enemies of hedgehogs is surprisingly short, thanks to their spines. Owls, foxes, and badgers can prey on hedgehogs, but most of these attacks end in failure. The real danger comes from elsewhere, from human gardens, lawn mowers, swimming pools, garden nets, compact plastic covers, collected water buckets, sludge traps. All of these cause the deaths of thousands of hedgehogs every year, and most accidents occur while you're sleeping. Lawnmowers in particular are a major problem. Hedgehogs curl up instead of running away when threatened. This reflex has evolved over centuries and works perfectly against biting predators like dogs, but it doesn't work against a rotating blade. If you have a hedgehog living in your garden, getting into the habit of checking for it before mowing the lawn can truly save lives. The hedgehog, who walks 2 to 3 kilometers during the night, hunts hundreds of insects, examines every nook and cranny, returns about 1 to 2 hours before dawn. The return route is usually different from the departure route. Researchers have not fully understood why this is the case, but the strongest theory is that they do not use the same route twice to minimize the risk. The hedgehog returning to its burrow checks the entrance. It smells. If it's safe inside, it enters and it sleeps. Just as you wake up, the hedgehog in your garden has fallen into a deep sleep. It will remain motionless throughout the day, hidden and invisible. It will appear as if there is nothing in your garden, but it's there, right where you never looked. Now let's do a thought experiment. Before you go to bed tonight, take a minute to look at your garden. Dark grass, heavy air, maybe a little wind. Nothing seems to be happening. But when you get up tomorrow morning and look at the grass, you can see fine footprints or a slightly excavated piece of earthenware next to the flower pot. Sometimes there's no trace at all. The hedgehog is very careful, but it's over, almost certainly. According to a study conducted in England, it is estimated that at least one hedgehog is found in more than 70% of city and town gardens. We have less data for gardens in Turkey, but the European hedgehog lives naturally in most of Turkey and adapts extremely quickly to urban gardens. So, statistically speaking, if you have a garden, you probably have a hedgehog. And every night, while you sleep, he goes for his nightly walk. If you like this video and want to discover hidden activities in your garden, install an infrared camera in your garden at night. You'll probably be surprised the next morning. Write in the comments, have you ever seen a hedgehog in your garden, nighttime, or by chance during the day? On this channel, we continue exploring the hidden aspects of nature. Until the next video, keep your eyes open.